Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this session in-house training program by Tata DAV Public School, Noamundi, on the topic storytelling as pedagogy. And today this is not a new topic for we people, but today we are going to discuss the new aspects of storytelling as pedagogy, means the teaching tools. And by this topic, or by this today's topic, I would like to show you the objectives. Learners will be able to understand the importance of storytelling. Learners will be able to integrate their subjects with a story. Learners will be able to provide skill-based education, and learners will be able to use the technique of storytelling as pedagogy, and learners will be able to draw the learners' outcomes. Now, I may ask you, what remains the sole aim of storytelling? Storytelling is not a new concept for us, for we people, not a new technique to be used. But what for storytelling is used? Yes, please. If I'll be happy if all others will switch on their videos and we will interact. Actually, one side means presentation I cannot give. So I think this will be very fruitful. Dev sir is there, Rama ma'am is there, Thakur sir is there. If they switch on the video, I think the thing will be better. What for storytelling technique is used? Why we should use storytelling techniques? What is your opinion? I want to know. Yes, sir. I'm waiting for the response. No one is responding. Anyway, I would like to say that when we choose the technique of storytelling, we should know what is a storytelling. Storytelling is the social and cultural activity of sharing stories. Sometimes with improvisation. Improvisation means making keeping an ad, or means giving an ornamentation. Embellishment means giving ornating itself, means giving ornament to the presentation. Then we may move to how to discuss it in the classroom. So in the classroom, we see what for the presentation or what for the storytelling technique is used. The first thing is actually I had sought the response and I didn't get. So it has been displayed here. To communicate the students in a better way. Better way means, you see, students get fun out of it. They get emancipation. They get enough happiness when they go with the storytelling. When someone is going to the class and say, today let us go to, let us start the class with a story, the whole class become happy. And this is a very good communication to start a class with a story. And to comprehend, you see, I will be coming to the integration of the subjects. In all the subjects, in every subjects, we can integrate, or every subjects can be integrated through short story. Every subjects can be integrated through a short story. Means, can anyone say what remains our motto when we are going to the class? What remains in our mind, or what means being a teacher? What should we means how we are giving the things, or what we are giving the things? Who can say? Means what remains our motto? Anyone, please share. Please share what we share, what we want to share, or what we want to teach or learn. Anyone? No one. Anyway, so the thing is, means we should keep it in mind that whenever we are going to class, we are not going to teach what? We are not going to teach the content. Rather, we are going to teach how. It is a movement from what to how. And it is a movement from content to competence. Content to content to competence. And what is that competence? Competence is also, or if we say that if textbook is the content, then a competency is the change of behavior in our learning. What thing we were learning, and now what or how the things are being learned. I may tell you, this is a movement from content to competence. What to how? Only what will not solve the purpose. Only what will not serve us. This is not at all the motto of our teaching. We have to make them aware of the skills. I will be coming later. I will be coming later. But the thing is, the thing remains there with this, to comprehend, to understand the matter perfectly. For that only, storytelling is the best way, or we may say the an effective way of communication. Then what remains? Competence. Competence means, I discussed here, the change in behavior. Change in behavior to connect, to integrate their lifestyle with the lifestyle of others. Every students are to be created in a new way, in a unique way. That remains, that should be the way of our teaching, a teacher's teaching. That should be the motto of a teacher's lesson plan. When someone is making a lesson plan, not lesson or what lesson he is going to teach is not at all important. Rather, the important is how he is going to deliver, or how he is going to give it. From content to competence, that remains. What is storytelling in the classroom? So means the way I told, storytelling is an art, a skillful teaching process that one can learn over a period of time, results in higher children engagement in classroom. Activity based, skill based teaching, activity based teaching we have to give. And for that, Mr. Storytelling is the best way to carry out the process. Now, let us see storytelling, the history of storytelling. You see, history of storytelling is not at all a new thing. From a long since a long days, the storytelling is going on. You see, one evidence has been given. Some of the earliest evidences of stories comes from the cave drawing in Lascaux and Sauvaux in France. The drawings, which date as far back as 30,000 years ago, depict animals, humans, and other objects. Some of them appear to represent visual stories. You see, pictures remain there. Now also many where pictures are there, and we do not know from how many days that things are going on. Through picture, they want to give a story. We see a storyline, we see a timeline, and that remains the best way to convey the message, to transfer the message from one way to the other way. And obviously, what happened? We get the result, and what means we means get the way, or we remember the things in our mind. By that way, what happened to storytelling? Why we tell stories? Replace rote learning. Rote learning does not remain there. Means for one thing we are practicing once, again and again and again and again. Rote learning means not there. Rote learning, the place of rote learning is there, not there. They will learn how to do the things. Means skill based. Means as I think in somewhere it was written. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understood. So obviously, when we did the thing, it is understood. Learning by doing, the skill of knowing the thing we learned, and that remains the I may say motto of our education, to make aware the people, to make aware the students about the skill they have, what skill they have. And we have to we have to identify means if the student is competent in which skill. I will be coming later. So teaching for learning, the next one, and only for young learners, particularly means those who are this is not only for the children, not only for the young learners, rather for all. Storytelling is a very good way to communicate a message, to carry out a message. Scoring high marks versus developing skills. We are not going going with the scoring high marks. If I learn the things, I will get good marks. This is not our motto. Our motto is to develop skills, that the person will see the skill has been developed, and now he knew, or means how to do the things by himself. Learning by doing. So waste of times for higher grades, and then the remains also syllabus completion. So keeping all these things, we use story telling as a way of pedagogy, or way of teaching tools. Now let us see, as I told you, how to mean stories for integrated learners. Integrated learners means, you see, we are using textbook in the class. The teachers are using the textbook in the class. Keep it in mind that textbook is just a runway. Runway means, you see, in class 8, if we are teaching in teaching some other text, some other school, some other books may be followed. Some other board, some other books may be followed. Why not equal? Obviously, it depends upon the teacher, how it communicates the things through the text. So text is not the lesson. Keep it in mind. Text is not at all a lesson. Text is a runway, a helping tool, we may say. Through the text, we will able to know the skill. Skill is ability, and we will be capable of that. Students more think by using different types of words, and I may say different way of our stories, art and culture, social studies, stories in other humanities. Means we can integrate those things through stories, short stories. And means I mean to say that when we are saying the stories, we are telling the stories are integrated, and we have to show it to the students. This is the geography of this story. This is the history of this story. This is the literature. Here is the things given. And on the other way, you see, when we say about the what skills are there, or means what are the sources of stories, we have seen from the very means long seen that means the stories of our the stories told by our grandparents. They told us that they tell the stories related to mythology. They tell the stories of history. They tell the stories of means from their own experience, means what they have got, means what happened in the 99 means what super cyclone. So they tell their anecdotes, self experience, then tradition and culture, science, then fantasy, then imaginary means imaginary things they say, and by that way means we get the various ways of telling stories. Then I may means ask you, is very much say important here, means to impart in the students, that remains the basic idea of education. And means through short story, when we are means saying about competence based education, CBE, that means we obviously go towards the learning outcomes, learning objectives. First we have to set the learning objectives, and means then we will see what are the learning outcomes. My dear teachers, this remains the base of your lesson plan. And when you are doing the lesson plan, learning outcomes, learning objectives, and learning outcomes, these two things are the base of lesson plans. Keep it in mind. Use either sub story as a method, either lecture, either direct, anything you are going to use. You keep it in mind. Through that, competence based education is being fulfilled. That thing you keep it in mind. And what happened? Means measurable learning objectives and outcomes. That the way I told. And minimum core content means content. As means as I told, what, it's a movement from what to how. Skill. Then child centered pedagogy. When we are making it a tool, we should know that it should be a child centered pedagogy, child centered technique of teaching. And means through this differentiated the assessments. Now let us see means how to make a story, how to plan a story by which means we can go ahead, or we can see the things. Now means think it as an activity, and let us see. I am going to show you some of the pictures, and please cooperate with me. Means only for 15 minutes. If you cooperate me, means we will complete our presentation. So keep it in mind that I'm going to show you some of the pictures, and you compose a story. The first picture you see, a pot with less water, a crow, and pebbles. Now I would like to request you, at least 5 6 lines, all of you write on this. 5 6 lines you write up on this, and I'll ask for the presentation. Pavitra sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So sir, I would like to tell you 5 lines on these pictures I saw.
Sir.
5 6 lines, 6 5 6 7 lines. Once more I means repeat those things. You see, this is the pot. This one is the crow. And they are pebble. Yes, Pavitra sir.
Yes, sir.
Please tell a story. The picture I showed.
Okay. The whole story or the new one?
That I don't know. You means again. Yes. So suppose the old story you are saying. So tell the old story you tell. Tell me the old
Uh,
story.
Thirsty Crow.
Tell me the story. There lies the things.
The crow was thirsty, and when he find
Yes.
out that one report with less amount of water, he used the
Yes.
stone and in the water he taken the stone, and when he put it inside the pot, the water came up, and the crow has after drink the water and fly away. I think this is the
This
story.
is the
The
story
thirsty
that
crow. Thirsty
I
crow.
think. Yes. Anyone who can say tell. Any other who can tell the story?
Yes, sir. I also know one story related to these pictures.
Yes, sir.
That once upon a time, a group of crows were moving here and there. In other words, they were playing themselves. After some time, due to their physical harassment, one of them got thirsty and he asked that group that I am going in quest of water to the nearby places. In the meantime, you can continue this enjoyment or your game. And from that point only, he has started searching water here and there. But coincidentally, he could not get water at that nearby places. Then he flew up and got some far away places from that jungle. He went to villages, he went to nearby towns, but coincidentally, that crow could not get a single drop of water, and he was started drinking the water with the help of that straw, and lastly he could get the water and energized itself. Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Very good. So nice. This is called the creativity. This is called creativity. I mean to say that that story or that traditional story is not at all the only story. That traditional story is not at all the only story that means the thing is going on the same way that the crow is being thirsty, searching for the water, got the water, less water it was, through the pebbles, the water level came up, drank and means away. You see, for that, they are only the characters. And you see the way Thakur sir has composed the story. Here, the things we see, creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, self-awareness, decision making, and the way he means the interpersonal relationship. The other crows were there and took the permission. He came here. There he so we saw the interpersonal relationship is there. When he was thirsty, the others cooperated there. Empathy is there. These things are to be shown. These things are to be shown. These things are to be taken into account, and we means we should pass it to the means all other students. By that way, we will get the means way of getting the things, or we will means get the purpose of our teaching, and this should be the sole motto of our teaching. So one more story was there, that the same way we all know, and it was for activity. So means you see, crow, fox, seas, the same old story, but you we can put them in a new bottle.
If
Yes, using these pictures, we can create new things, new story.
yes,
Like a crow and a fox were strangers. Once it was a hot day, and there was no food and no water. But crow was having a pot full of water, and fox was having a piece of cheese. Um, crow was not having any food with it, and fox was not having water with it. So they decided to have mutual understanding, in which crow was supposed to give water to fox, and fox was supposed to give piece of cheese to crow. In this way, they became friends, and by mutual understanding, they shared the things, and the friendship lasted longer. Hence, it's a we in a society we should help each other. That is the moral of the story. Not the traditional ones that crow was having a piece of cheese, and it flattered crow. They said, "You sing so well." So this is a new concept. Both become friends.
In a new shape. What things we are getting here? Particularly the elements of short story. 4 elements of short stories we are getting in the text, or means any drama, any plot. Means we say what? Get them to play characters. Some characters are there. Be reflective. Ask extra positive questions. Then encourage them to suggest alternative ending to the story, a different title to the poem, etc. So these are the text, the story. Okay, and I may tell you that whenever we say that these 4 things or 4 elements are of storytelling: people, characters, 4 P's: people, characters, place, then purpose, then problem, purpose or problem, then a plot. These are the 4 means P's, or 4 things that we need for means storytelling. Then we see that strategies to be applied of storytelling. Let us see what strategies to be undertaken. One is plan the way I have told. Plan, then create, then tell it to the students, then discuss and reflect, cross curriculum, then create with means the discussion. Now builds critical skill, that remains the main idea. Builds critical skill. What is that? Listening and speaking skill, cooperative learning environment, critical awareness. Then we see developing multiple perspectives, visual skills, voice modulation. When the tiger is coming, we have to say, "Ah, I am the tiger."